Sea-born bands of wild barbarians held Athens' walls in fear. Tereus of Thrace, with his relieving force, had routed them and won a victor's fame. And seeing he was strong in wealth and men, and, as it happened, traced his lineage from Mars himself, Pandion gave his child Procne in marriage, thus to link their lines. When they were married, Juno was not there to bless the rite, nor Hymen nor the Graces. The Furies held the torches. Torches seized from mourners' hands. The Furies made their bed. An unclean screech owl, like a nightmare, sat above their chamber on the palace roof. That bird haunted the couple's union. That bird haunted their parenthood. Now season followed season as the sun led on the years. 5 autumns glided by, and Procne coaxed her husband. If my love finds any favor, give me leave to visit my sister, Philomela, or invite my sister here, giving my father your sure word that she will soon return. To see her once again will be a gift most precious. So her husband had his ship launched and gained by sail and oar Athens' great port and reached Piraeus' shore. Her beauty, such the beauty of the nymphs, knights and dryads as we used to hear, walking the woodland ways. Could one but give the nymphs such finery, such elegance? The sight of her set Tereus' heart ablaze. Her looks deserved his love, but inborn lust goaded him too, for men of that rough race are warm for wenching. Nothing he would not do, nothing not dare, as passion drove unreined, a furnace barely in his heart contained. Once Philomela was on the painted ship, and the oars struck and thrust the land away. "I've won," he cried, "I've won. My dearest wish is mine on board with me." His heart leapt high. The brute could hardly wait to seize his joys, and never turned his eyes away from her. So when Jove's bird of prey has caught a hare, and in his talons carries it aloft to his high nest, the captive has no chance of flight. The captor gloats over his prize. Now they leave the weary ship and land on their own shore. And then the king drags off Pandion's daughter up to a cabin in the woods, remote and hidden away among dark ancient trees. And there, pale, trembling, fearing everything, weeping and asking where her sister was, he locked her and revealed his own black heart. Yet if the gods are watching, if heaven's power means anything, unless my runes shared by all the world, you will pay my score one day. I'll shed my shame and shout what you have done. If I have the chance, I will walk among the crowds. Or if I'm held locked in the woods, my voice shall fill the woods and move the rocks to pity. This bright sky shall hear, and any god that dwells on high. Philomela, seeing the sword, offered her throat and hoped she would have died. But as she fought, outraged for words and called her father's name continually, he seized her tongue with tongs and, with his brutal sword, cut it away. But there's a fount of talent and distress, and misery learns cunning. On a clumsy native loom, she wove a clever fabric, working words in red on a white ground to tell the tale of wickedness, and, when it was complete, entrusted it to a woman and, by signs, asked her to take it to the queen. And she took it. She, as asked, to Prochna, unaware what it contained. Her tongue could find no speech to match her outraged anger. No room here for tears. She stormed ahead, confusing right and wrong, her whole soul filled with visions of revenge. "This is no time for tears, but for the sword," she cried. "Oh, what may be mightier than this sword? For any crime I'm ready, Philomela. I'll set on fire these royal roofs and bury in the blaze that scheming fiend. I'll gouge his wicked eyes, I'll pluck his tongue out and cut away those parts that stole your honor. Through 1,000 wounds I'll sluice his guilty soul. Some mighty deed I'll dare, I will do, though what that deed shall be is still unsure." As Prochna spoke, her son Idas approached. She knew what she could do. Looking at him with ruthless eyes, she said, "You're so like your father." And she planned in silent rage a deed of tragedy. She struck him with a knife below the ribs and never even looked away. This holy day, the husband dines alone. So, seated high on his ancestor throne, King Tereus dines and, dining, swallows down flesh of his flesh and calls, so dark the night that blinds him, "Bring Itis here to me." "You have him right here," she cries, "in sight." And he looks around, asks where he is, and as he asks and calls again, in rushes Philomela, just as she is, and frantic butchery still spattered in her hair, and throws the head of Itis bleeding in his father's face. He wept and wailed and called himself his son's disastrous tomb. Then, with his naked sword, pursued Pandion's daughters. As they flee, you'd think they float on wings. Yes, sure enough, they float on wings. One daughter seeks the woods, one rises to the roof, and even now, the marks of murder show upon the breast, and feathers carry still the stamp of blood.